like a lot of us, Toronto resident Ben Feist has always had an interest in space. But in his spare time after work, he would comb through hundreds of hours of audio and video clips to launch a website that recreates the Apollo 17 mission to the moon. And when people at NASA saw what he had done, they were so impressed, well, they called and they offered him a job. Ben is here now to share more of his story. Good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, before all of this started, before you got the NASA Gov email address, you were working for an advertising agency, and somewhere along the line, you decided to launch a website. You called it Apollo17.org in your spare time. This is what it had in it: 300 hours of audio, 22 hours of video, and 4,000 images. What made you decide to put all of this together and create this sort of time capsule for everybody to live through?
Well, it started with wanting to help to complete part of history that was languishing a little bit. The historical record of Apollo 17, which is the last mission to the moon in 1972, wasn't very well documented because they weren't going back anytime soon. So when they were doing the packaging up of the mission at the end of it, they didn't put the same amount of effort in that they did for the previous missions. So I kind of wondered one day, I wonder why that mission's missing from the internet record, and I realized it was because it had this problem. So I started trying to solve that problem.
It's incredible, and then the result is you get a phone call from someone at NASA. Yeah. Tell me about that phone call.
Well, it was pretty amazing. I mean, that was 6 years later. It took me 6 years to build the website, and it certainly wasn't 6 years of oh, I can hardly wait till the end of this period where NASA calls me and offers me a job. That wasn't on the list of even hopes at the time. But it was really quite wonderful. They invited me to come down and give a talk at Goddard Space Flight Center, just north of Washington, D.C., to tell the people at NASA about the work that I had done, and I thought, what a great end to all of this. I can put the cherry on the cake and go tell them about what I'm doing, and then move on and do something else. And while I was down there, they said, we think you may have inadvertently solved a problem that NASA's been trying to solve for a really long time, and that's how to organize our spaceflight data so that it can be easily navigated.
This is what fascinates me, Ben, and I guess it makes sense. They're so distracted with all of the thought that it takes to get humans and machines out into space and onto the moon that nobody thought about documenting it properly, this incredible historic moment.
They do document things very carefully, but they do it sort of by instrument or by technical portion of each of the missions, and they don't tie it together across all of those things in the same way that I did. So I essentially said to them, I'm really happy to hear you're going to do something with with this idea and the work that I've been doing. And they said, we're not going to do something, you are. And it began a process where they have been slowly bringing me in and giving me more work, and that has culminated into how would you like to just work here now? And I said, of course, yes, I would. Thank you.
Incredible. So you and I were joking about how great it is to have like the NASA Gov website. But tell me about the work you're doing there now and what it was like to get the badge that allowed you to like swipe through and walk into the NASA offices. It was
really remarkable to have my photo next to the NASA meatball is really something else. It hasn't worn off. I've been working a little bit with NASA now, formally for about 2 years, and people say don't turn your hobby into your job or it's no longer a hobby, and I can tell the effect is not happening. I'm not feeling upset. It's super fun, and there's a lot of really exciting work to do because we're going back to the moon by 2024.
You don't often get to meet people whose dream has come true, but it was really neat to meet you today, Ben. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you.